Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. I haven't, as you can tell by the shirt, it's going to be Packer related. I haven't posted a Packer video in quite some time because there hasn't been real need to. It was not the season that we wanted to see from them this year. So, let's just say that. I took a couple of notes down right here. We're just going to talk about today the Packers' future. And these are just my opinions. My opinion really doesn't carry any more weight than the normal layman. But I have some things, I have some thoughts about how the Packers should move forward and what their future potentially could look like. After that disappointing loss to the Lions, that win and in game. So let's talk about it. Yeah, it was. We're not going to talk about the season. This is about the future. You know, that's away now, and it's all going to be the future. Really, all of the Packers' offseason endeavors probably are going to rely upon the decision of Aaron Rodgers. He just finished up with a 2-day meeting with the Packers front office, Tuesday and Wednesday. I couldn't tell you what they talked about. Man, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting room, though. Would love to have been a fly on the wall in those offices. But alas, we are not even any reporters. So, maybe we'll get some more clarity. I think Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be on Pat McAfee's show on next Tuesday coming up. So maybe we'll get some clarity from that. Maybe we won't. Maybe that's the way Aaron wants it until he actually comes up with a decision. But for the time being, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I mean, is Aaron Rodgers really going to want to return to the Green Bay Packers? Does he want to retire? Oh my God forbid, does he want to opt out and go to a different team? I hope that's not the case. I'm hoping if he is to do anything, if he is to go anywhere, it's to retire, because I don't want to see him on a different team. I don't think if I were Aaron, that would be the way I'd want to go out as a Green Bay Packer or a player in general. The way it all transpired this year, I don't think that's the way I would want to go out at organizationally and individually. If I were Aaron, no, I'm not Aaron, and I can't speak for Aaron, and I will not because it's not my place to do so. But if I were Aaron, I would set 40 as my threshold and try this one more time. One more time. Uno más timos. I don't know how to say time in Spanish. One more time. Uno más. And if it doesn't work out, just accept. I know Aaron said that in his press conference after the game that he would have no problem leaving. He's comfortable with what he's accomplished. But man, Aaron, you know deep down inside, man, you know that's not how you want to go out, and you don't. That's not how you want to be remembered as a Packer. This was a very disappointing end to the season. Last few years have been very disappointing. This one seems more so. When he walked out with Randall into the tunnel, that was really heartbreaking to the soul. That was tough to see. But it's. I would set 40 as my threshold, and if it's another dud next year, it's another dud right off into the sunset. Be comfortable with what you've accomplished in your career, because Aaron Rodgers has accomplished a lot. So, with that being said, again, all of these offseason endeavors for the Packers are going to have to be relied upon Aaron Rodgers' decision. Who knows when that's going to come this offseason? We'll have to wait and see. But if that were the case, if Aaron decides, we're going to play a little if game. We're going to start if Rodgers retires. We'll start with that. If Rodgers retires, that would suck, first of all. Because as much as Jordan Love aficionados and lovers out there would love a lot of love to as much as they would not love to admit it, Aaron Rodgers, despite the struggles of the team and sometimes, at times, individually for him this year, he is the best chance that we have. He keeps that Super Bowl window open. So without Aaron Rodgers there, that would be destructive. Not in a good way. Jordan Love would then be our starting quarterback. Did he show flashes against Philadelphia? I guess. I don't know. Not enough for me to be comfortable with it. So, yeah. That would be devastating to a team that's already been devastated. A lot of players leaving. I mean, Alan Lazard, gone. He's going to be gone. I'm not a body language expert, but... And I'm not a wording expert either, but if you watched his interview at his locker at the end of the game against the Lions, he's not coming back. So there's one player out. Randall Cobb, he is a unrestricted free agent in 2023 this year coming up. So who knows if he's going to be back. Mercedes Lewis, I think, is on a contract year. Mason Crosby, this might have been his last season as a Packer. He's getting up there in age as a kicker. Kickers, they can go longer, but he's been doing it since 2007, so it's been a while. Oh, yeah, there's just going to be a lot of things. If Aaron leaves, there's going to be a lot of things that are magnified to a worse standard. Defense is going to look a lot worse. Offense is going to look... I mean, Christian Watson's emergence has been positive, but is it positive enough to override the fact that Aaron Rodgers potentially could not be there? I don't know. Is Aaron Jones on his contract year now too? Oh my God. Yeah, that might be played into. I know David Bakhtiari, I think, is coming back, but I mean, I don't know, man. A lot of things are going to look bad if Aaron Rodgers leaves. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole if we want to with that, but we all know at this point what the team would look like if Aaron left. It's not good. Now, if he were to return, and maybe looking at what the team looks like without Aaron, we'll save that for another time, but this is mainly focused upon if Aaron Rodgers were to return for one more season, to give it one more go. Another year with Christian, that's good. But you need a compliment to Christian Watson because, like I said, Alan Lazard, it's looking like it's going to be 98% sure that he's gone. I think this is his contract year anyway. And if you, like I said, I'm not a body language or wording expert, but if you watched his interview at his locker after the loss, you can tell that he is not going to be back. So, and with all due respect to Alan Lazard, he's done great for us here in his time here. He's not number one material. He's not number one material. I'm sorry. He is a complimentary number two. And, yeah, we're going to need somebody to compliment Christian Watson, because is Christian Watson even that true number one yet? I don't know. He was injured for the first half of the season, and then he came back and he had his surgeons. Was that enough to prove to me that he is number one material? I don't know. If you were to ask me, I honestly don't know. I mean, he did great things for us, but that's a sample size. That was a sample size. Had a hell of a rookie year, but again, a sample size. And is that enough to be considered a true number one in this league at wide receiver? I'm not comfortable enough saying that, despite, like I said, all of the positive things he did and has done and will continue to do so and improve upon. I just don't know if it's enough. So we're going to need if you didn't need one before, if you stroked your ego enough, Brian Gutekunst, to prove to yourself that, hey, we don't need a true number one. Let's see how these rookies develop. You need one now. You need one especially to complement Christian Watson. If you really want Aaron to come back, if Aaron, like I said, I wasn't a fly on the wall in that meeting room, but man, I would just hope and pray to God above that Aaron said something along the lines of, "Listen, Brian, listen, Russ Ball, listen, Mark Murphy. If I am to come back for one more year, you will put the pieces around me so we can guarantee ourselves a chance to get back to the playoffs and potentially the big dance. I don't want to do this whole thing over again if we're just going to have to be a win and in situation yet again. If I'm coming back, I want this to be very clear. You're putting the pieces around me this time. No more joking around." I hope he said something like that. I hope Aaron took his nice guy hat off for just a momentary second and said something like that. Maybe he didn't. He probably didn't. But I hope and pray to God that he did, because that is the truth. That's what somebody needs to tell Brian. Like, I'm tired of, flip-flopping between defending Brian from time to time and then saying, well, maybe this guy isn't happening. No. You need to put the pieces around this man, Brian. Now, I'm being legit. Now, a lot of people are saying, like, there's a lot of freewheelers out there that are like, bring Devontae back. Devontae, come back to Green Bay. I would love that more than anybody, but let me tell you, that's not how contracts work, first of all. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. That's not how contracts work. And secondly, is he even going to want to return to Green Bay if given the opportunity? I don't think so. He went back there for a reason. So it's maybe not necessarily the fact that he didn't want to be here in general. It's the fact that, he's closer to home, and some other personal things along with that. And besides, I was looking it up today statistically, his contract. His predicted potential opt-out year with his contract currently would be in 2025, so that wouldn't make any sense. If the Raiders were to trade Davante Adams before his opt-out year, which would be up if they were to trade him this year, coming up this offseason, that would provide a lot of cap issues for both the Packers and the Raiders. So, excuse me. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be awesome, but it wouldn't make any sense for either side. So it's just a pill we've got to swallow there. He would become an unrestricted free agent in 2027, and by that time, Aaron will definitely be out of the league. And who knows where the Packers would even be at that point, So it's nice to dream about for that, but it's not going to happen as much as we want to. It's not going to happen. So if we can't get Davante Adams, we need to get somebody of that certain caliber. And the person's name that's been thrown around the past couple days and is in a bit of a pickle with his team, a little bit of a situation right now, the Arizona Cardinals, is DeAndre Hopkins. I've heard that name thrown around a lot the past couple days. And he is probably the second best option available to like a Davante Adams-esque player and skill set. The Cardinals are looking to trade him right now. That's the story right now, is that the Cardinals are looking to trade him this offseason. They don't want to bear the burden of his I've got the contract right here, the contract total. Let's see if I can. It would be a 2-year, $34 million contract that they're trying to get rid of. So whatever team is going to be traded to, if he is to be traded, they're going to have to bear the burden of that contract. But if I were the Packers, that seems like a no-brainer. Now, a lot of people would make the argument, well, you don't need a wide receiver anymore. You got that settled. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs. Goes back to what I was saying earlier. Not comfortable enough with those guys being the leaders of that wide receiver room. Not comfortable. So you need a complement to Christian Watson, and you need a number one. You need at this moment in time, more than ever, you need a true number one. If you're really wanting to bring Aaron back one more year and really go for it, you need to put the pieces around him. Christian Watson is a piece, a very dangerous piece. He has come on strong and will continue to do so, and even only get better. But he is not a true number one yet. DeAndre Hopkins is a true number one in the league. If the Cardinals are willing to trade him, I would be one of the first teams calling, because you put DeAndre Hopkins. Now, this is all just talk, and maybe it would flop immediately if it were to happen. But I'm telling you right now, if you put DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Watson on the same field together, that's dynamite. That might even be a little, well, I may be speaking out of turn in the time frame. I may be in the timeline. I may be talking out of turn, getting a little too excited. But you put D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, C-Watt, Christian Watson. 1-2. D-Hop, Christian Watson. Who are you going to stop? Who are you going to stop? That would be dynamite. That would be electric. Probably a little more electric than Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams, if I'm being completely honest. Again, I may be speaking out of timeline, a little jump in the gun, a little too excited, but I'm telling you. Dangerous. So, also, next thing. Let's put the D-Hop thing on hold. We'll see. We'll see. With everything that happens here, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. That defense. Ugh. That defense. Now, here's the thing with the defense. We have the talent. That's not the issue. The talent's there. Example. Okay. Jair Alexander. Rasul Douglas. Rashawn Gary when he comes back fully healthy. Kenny Clark. Devondre Campbell. Devontae Wyatt. Despite his character issues, Quay Walker. Keyshawn Nixon. He's considered a cornerback, but, special teams weapon. Levitt. He was pretty good. Darnell Savage. Adrian Amos. Keep going down the list. We have the pieces on defense. We have the weapons. Jaron Reed. Another good one. Preston Smith, if he stays. We have the pieces. The scheme, not so much. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, not sorry, but your scheme's not great. It's not great. Newsflash, you can't stop the run. And for people that, I heard the question arise to somebody earlier in the month, the defense started to have a little more success. Did Joe Barry solidify his role, or do you think he's still on the chopping block? I don't know. I don't know if I want to risk going through that again. And Matt LaFleur said he doesn't see the team making any changes as far as staff. Well, that scheme is not great. It's not great. It's not great. The pass defense is all right, but you need to stop the run. You need to find a coach that has a scheme that can stop the freaking run. You were last. You were dead last in run defense, or near it. Close enough. And offensively, you need to change that as well, as far as your staffing. Like, bring back Nathaniel Hackett. I see Mike LaFleur. Is it Mike LaFleur? Matt LaFleur's brother. People are inquiring about him. Bring him in. You need to help your goal line offense that was dead last, 32nd ranked in the league. So those things need to be changed. And obviously I can say all these things and people can say, Mason, it's a lot more difficult than that. There's the cap issues and the money issues. And what if they were to go after DeAndre Hopkins? Are they going to want to take on his contract? Don't give me that, okay? Don't give me that. Sorry, I was closing a pop-up for 60% off of computer driver. Anyway, not important. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to use this because it's the most damning evidence. The Green Bay Packers offered Devontae Adams more money than the Las Vegas Raiders to stay, but Devontae didn't want to stay. That doesn't matter. The point of that statement is that the Green Bay Packers paid Devontae Adams more money than the Raiders. We have money sitting there. It's just we're so stubborn with our organizational philosophy that we don't use it. Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers is using it all. No, he's not. He's got a huge contract, yes. But it's not all the money. We signed Aaron Rodgers before Devontae left, people. We signed into that contract before he left. And we offered more money than the Raiders. We have money sitting there. So we could sign DeAndre Hopkins in a heartbeat. I'm getting so flustered, I'm forgetting people's names. We have money sitting there. I don't want to hear this excuse of, well, draft to develop. Well, it's a money pit. No, bro, don't. I don't want to hear it. That's an excuse. That's an excuse to back up your philosophy and remain stagnant. And I damn well hope as well that was something that Aaron Rodgers talked about to those guys in those 2 days in that front office. You gotta, again, my biggest take, I hope and pray to Lord Jesus that Aaron Rodgers said something along those lines that, hey, listen, if I'm coming back one more year, you are putting the pieces around me. I'm not going through this again. You're putting the pieces around me necessary to maximize our chances to get to the playoffs and potentially the big dance. I'm not doing this. If I want to go out on top, I want to go out on top, or at least damn near close to it. I'm not going through this again where we have to be a win and out or a win and in situation. I'm not doing that. So that is my take on the Packers, what they should do, how they should progress forward this offseason, and how they could potentially look in the future given those two circumstances. I swear and hope to God that at least Aaron comes back for one more year, tries this again. And if that's the case, I hope, and I may be praying and hoping for a lot, but man, Brian needs to grow a pair and put the necessary pieces around Aaron for this one last chance. Now, I do think that David Bakhtiari and Randall Cobb coming back are going to be huge pieces in Aaron Rodgers' decision to return. If Randall Cobb and David Bakhtiari decide to come back to the Packers for, I guess, a year or whatever, I think that would really play a huge role in Aaron Rodgers' decision to potentially come back here this year. But that's just my take. I don't know. But I think those two being the closest friends that Aaron has on the team, I think that would just be a big thing. But like I said, at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, what develops. Can't control any of it. We can just talk about it. So, but yes, Brian, if Aaron Rodgers comes back, you need to put the pieces around him. You need to do what's necessary to maximize your chance. And I really do think that if it came down to it and the Cardinals are going to continue to pursue a trade for DeAndre Hopkins, I would say be one of the first teams on that phone. So those are my thoughts. I'd like to know yours down in the comments. Good and bad. Positive, negative. So yeah. We'll see what happens. As Packer fans, we're just going to be clinging to chairs and clinging to phones and waiting to see what happens. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, leave a comment, do whatever you need to do. And as you guys know me for the Here's the Thing podcast, another episode will be coming out sometime soon. So be looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Go Pack, go. Just not this last season. Scrap that. On the next one. Hopefully it's more uplifting and positive. So, go, Pack, go. See you guys later.